Alright, so here's kind of something I put together that would probably easily best explain how I do imaging. And the first thing we're going to start with is your voice processing. Sandy's voice is one of the trickiest ones to deal with, so you'll probably have to play around with different reads that he gives you. But this is kind of the basic outline that you should use for at least modulating his voice for anything that you do in imaging. And we're going to start over here in the effects chain. So what I like to do is like to make a preset, basically, which is what we'll do, and you can save this, and that way anytime you go to do imaging, it'll be there ready to go. So start by turning on FX, and the first one we're going to use for the built-in effects, at least, on Adobe Auditions, we're going to go to Amplitude and Compression, and we're going to go to Dynamics Processing. And we're going to go up here to the presets, and we're going to choose Vocal Limiter right there. And that'll be our first one in the chain. The next thing I'm going to use is a high-pass filter, which kind of helps the song kind of cut through the music and the sound effects that you put behind it. So we'll go down to Filters and EQ. We'll go to Parametric EQ. And we're going to go down to generic high pass, which is set just like that. And then the last thing we're going to do just for a main voice effect is we're going to add one more compressor to kind of fill out the sound compared to everything we've done to it. So here we would go down to hard limiter, and I would choose heavy. And this is just for straight VO from Sandy to use on things. And so here's what we got here. This is obviously a liner he did years ago because it doesn't make any sense today. But here it is.
Z102.9. Number 1 on your preset. Number 1 on your preset. Number 4 on your top 8. That's us.
And here's it without it.
Number 1 on your preset. Number 4 on your top 8. That's us. That's us. That's us.
So you can already hear how much more punch it kind of gives it. So. And this right here is going to be the basic math for any modulation you do. You want to start with this compressor. You want to put your high pass. Then you'll choose another effect.
2.9.
Yeah, sorry there. And then you'll end it with a hard limiter. By following that chain, that'll be perfect processing to use every time. So here's what we can do here. Now that we've got that set up, just click on the track and come over here and save it. And you can call it Sandy VO1 or something, you know. And then that way you have that saved. Anytime you come to do new session, you click on the track you want to put the voice on, you come over here to your preset and you scroll down to Sandy VO1 and it's already there. So now let's build another effect which I think will be good for you to use, which is a high pass filter altogether. So we're going to use the same that we already have set up here, but we're going to add one more. We're going to move this hard limiter down because we always want to end our chain with a hard limiter. Actually, let me take that back. I'm going to leave that right there. We're just going to pull up this parametric EQ, and we're going to pull it down more so it's even more of a high sound, more, you know, take the bass out. And we're going to move it to about right there, and then we're going to poke this up just a little bit. Sorry, pull this over and give it just a little bit more high end. And let's see what that sounds like.
Z102.9. Number 1 on your preset.
All right, that's a little too much, so we can bring it back here just a little bit. Make it sound just a little bit more full.
Number 4 on your top 8. That's us. Number 1 on your preset.
So there's a nice little high pass filter option for you.
Z102.9. Number 1 on your preset.
So you notice the difference there. So let's save this one. Come over here, click on the track, save, and you can call it Sandy VO2. And we'll just go down the list like this. I'll give you a few to use, and then you can create your own after this. So we'll go to the next track to make it easier. Let's go ahead and pick our first preset. And again, you want to use this chain for everything. You want to start with the compressor. You want to go to the EQ. Next in the line will be your next effect. So we'll move the hard limiter down here, and for this one we'll use a reverb, which can be used, you know, pretty frequently. I like to use the studio reverb, and usually the small or medium is about all you'll need. We'll try medium here, and let's pull the track down here and see what it sounds in this one.
Z102.9. Number 1 on your preset. Number 1 on your preset. Number 4 on your top 8.
So there we go. That's a good sound. So save that one. click on the track, and save it, and so on. And then one other one I'll set up here for you, which I think is a pretty cool effect to use, is the walkie-talkie effect they have in one of the compressors, which really kind of gives you that over-the-phone sound. So to set that chain up, we'll move this down again. And here we're going to go to amplitude and compression, multi-band compressor, and on the preset we'll choose walkie-talkie. And this is probably one of my favorite sounds to use. You don't want to use it a lot, but you can use it in certain circumstances. So,
number 1 on your preset, number 1 on your preset, number 4 on your top 8.
now it's going to have a little bit of distortion there, so if you need to bring the level down a little bit, do so. And then again, save it. So you can do this and create however many tracks of however many different effects you want to use, and then they're already set, ready to go anytime you do a session. You don't got to deal with it ever again. Don't overdo effects. That's one of the biggest problems that people do when they first start doing imaging. They just kind of overdo it too much. So, kind of know when to use them, and that's where we'll put this sweeper together here now.